Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm your host, Mr. Dude here, coming at you from the SS Galaxy One from the X Galaxy crypto account. I'm here with an incredible human being. I'm so excited for you guys to see our interview here. I'm with the one and only Jordan Charters. So Jordan is the co-founder of Polydoge. I know you guys have seen me talk about him in the previous video. They went from 0 to 120 mil market cap in the last bull run.
Hey, Mr. Dude, thank you for having me, man.
Anytime, buddy, anytime.
I get on to Polygon, like I find out how to get on the Polygon, right?
Right.
I look at all the YouTube videos, shows you how to get on Polygon, use the MetaMask, all that stuff. So I set it up. And then I get in there and I see Polywhale, and Polywhale is just it's popping off, right? The DeFi is crazy there. You got this token called Krill, that people are they're putting money in, and then
Right.
WMatic and all these different things, and they're getting the Krill token, and the Krill token is like worth $265 a Krill token, and maybe 2 weeks before that it was worth $1.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, this is like life changing, the kind of things that are happening here. And then the next thing that I notice because I'm like, okay, well, BSC isn't working so well, right? Maybe I should try Polygon. So I take some of the gains I made on BSC and then also on Wax, with all
Right.
the NFTs and stuff like that. I think I made over $5,000 in that first week
Wow.
working with that game. Yeah, I know, right? I'm like
Yeah.
that's almost like 3 or 4 months
Right. Of your disability payments. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, I'm on cloud 9, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Telling
I'm
your
on
wife,
cloud
like, I
9.
am so smart.
Well, and that's the thing. So, I had just gotten engaged.
Okay.
And I had been praying and thinking about, okay, like how am I going to be able to take care of a family? How am I
Right.
going to be able to take care of my wife, and how are we going to be able to make more money than what I'm making now? And so that was another driver and motivator, right? When I saw that I could make 5,000 in a week off of that game, I was like, okay, there's something here, is something that I can do. It's something I can do with my major chronic illness. Like if I need to lay down, then I can lay down. Yeah, I can still, work from my phone or do things from my phone, right? And so, yeah, so I mean that was just unbelievable, to be able to find this. And then I go on to Polygon, and the gas fees compared to
Nothing.
BSC, it's nothing, right? It's nothing. And I'm just like, oh, this is beautiful. This is like heaven,
Yeah.
and
I still hear people say like, "Oh, gas is really high on Matic today." It's like, it's 5 cents. Like that's the height. Like it woo.
I know. I mean, because we got spoiled in the beginning of
Right.
Matic in 2021. I mean, there were times it was fractions of a penny, right?
Right.
Fractions of a penny. But there wasn't a huge amount, that was on Polygon at the time. There really wasn't. And so, yeah, so I took some of those profits. I started, with Polywhale, and I started making a little bit more, right? And then I did, and then I found Polycat Finance, and then Polycats, right? They all of a sudden, they do this partnership with this token that comes out, and I found it about 2 days after it launched, actually. Maybe it's 1 day. But that particular coin went from 0 to 14 million in a 24-hour period. And I was like, whoa, like what is going on here, right? And the name of that coin is Polydoge, right?
Here we go.
And
This is where
so
it gets juicy.
yeah, this is where it gets juicy. Yeah. I know I created a really long intro there, right?
Short story long, right?
Goodness gracious. Maybe it's because it's Patrick's
There you
Day. I
go.
don't know, man. I love St. Patrick, by the way, one of my favorite people all time. Um, so yeah, so I see Polydoge, and I'm like, okay, obviously, the first thing that goes off in my mind is this could be the next Dogecoin, right?
Right.
This could be the next Dogecoin. This is the Dogecoin of this chain, the Polydoge, right? And it already hit 14 million market cap. Now it dumped really fast. It went from 14 million, and it was like an 800K, I think, at the time. It's
Right.
like 800K. But one thing that really attracted me, just not even just, that it's the Doge of Polygon, is that Polycat Finance has done a partnership with Polydoge. And you can take your Polydoge, you can stake it, and you can earn DeFi rewards, right?
Oh, cool.
And I saw some of the APR that was on that, and I was like, oh man, like I need to buy some Polydoge like now, And so I took $2,000 of my gains
Right.
and I put it immediately into Polydoge. Right, I put it immediately into Polydoge. I joined the Telegram channel. The Telegram channel, I think, had 300 people in it. There were
Yeah.
like 300 people in there, and maybe it was even less. It was like maybe even 200, like 225 or something like that. And so I jump in. I'm like, hey everybody, my name is Jordan. You know, uh, I'm new to crypto. I'm new to Polygon, and I just bought a bag, of Polydoge, and everyone welcomed me and everything, um, and then uh, and then I said, I think that this coin has huge potential. It could be the Doge of Polygon,
Right.
right? It could totally be Doge of Polygon, the next Doge, and everyone was looking for like the next Doge, right?
Yeah.
Especially retail. Everybody that had bought like on Robinhood, because
Right.
that's
Right.
where I bought my Dogecoin. And I bought it on Robinhood, right? And so, um,
Because this is
yeah,
after
so
like all the AMC craze too, right?
yeah, this is
Right.
after AMC,
Where people
GameStop.
are like
Yeah,
looking for this
yeah,
stuff.
yes, absolutely. So so I'm just talking to these guys and everything, and then and because and all right, and this is for everyone that's listening, any project that you believe in, any community that you believe in, try to help as much as you possibly can. It only helps the whole project and helps your investment, right? And so I reach out to them like, hey, what can I do? What can I do to help to spread the word? What can I do to help with marketing? I gave them my background. I was like, hey, I've run, sports massage clinics. This is a part of the story I left out just because I didn't want to make the intro so freaking long. But I was at the time running one of the biggest Facebook groups in the world,
Right.
with 560,000 people in 138 countries. Um, and and that was a huge blessing that I was able to do that. We started that April of 2020, and then we were actually creating like some gaming elements with that too. And so that community we were exploring too, like, okay, how can we use blockchain technology to like amplify our community
Right.
and maybe even use it to help people have financial freedom, right? And so that was another reason why I really was diving deep into things, because we had 49 million engagements every single month on that, and I was one of the head guys of the whole operation, and it was just awesome. But yeah, so I tell them my marketing background. I'm like, hey, this is what I've done, this is what I can help with, and so I just start helping. I start creating content. I start, copy, reaching out to different people, and and then I'm reaching out to friends and family as well. Like I'm like, guys, like, look, if this is the next Dogecoin, the market cap is only $1 million, right? Where do you think this can go? You know?
Right.
And so I reach out to all my networks. I'm reaching out to, you know, football Hall of Famers, that I worked with in my sports massage,
Yeah,
like
from the therapy, yep.
industry contract, all those different contacts in 2019. Um, man, I've left out so much of this story, but it's fine.
We can
Um,
do part 2, part 3, no
I
worries, Jordan.
yeah, I eventually I eventually got to be I eventually got to the point where I was able to overcome my chronic illness quite a bit to the point where was actually able to massage again.
Nice.
And in uh, in 2019, I was offered an opportunity that I could not resist. Uh, like it was just amazing. But I was one of the rehabilitation advisors for the Ukrainian military in Ukraine.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's pretty
so
cool,
I was
'cause
I,
at that
yeah.
point, this is, like, pre-war and everything too, like, Canada and America do a lot of so much training over there for their troops, I remember that.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, and in fact, I actually worked with, the Canadian military. I worked with the UK military, US, like, all these different, coalition forces, that they're working together there before, all the stuff popped off, later
Yeah,
on,
but
right?
this was just normal
And
NATO
so
training that they would do back then.
yes, yep. Yeah, so that was huge, and so through those different contacts, like, I was contacting all those guys too. I'm like,
Right.
"Hey, you need to get on Polydoge." And so I was on calls just about all day, every day, helping people to learn how to bridge and get an investment in Polydoge and all those different things. And then it was about probably 3 days after I was just constantly, like, working and trying to help Polydoge as much as possible, that Pat reached out to me, who is, one of the
Big
OG
Pat,
co-founders.
shout out.
Yeah, yeah, let's go. And so he reaches out to me and he goes, "Hey, Jordan, we really love what you're doing, right? We love what you're doing for the community and helping out and everything like that, and we want to offer you a position as one of the last co-founders of Polydoge,
Right.
on the team." And I mean, that was just I
You
couldn't
made it.
believe it, man.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, and so quickly, right? So quickly that I was able to make it, and they gave me a massive freaking allocation. I
Sweet.
mean,
That helps, that helps. Although
oh,
you held it all the
huge.
way up though, I know.
Huge, yeah, huge freaking allocation. I mean, they send the allocation over, and it was big enough that on Polycat Finance, when I staked all of my Polydoge, right, I was making like, and this was at the beginning of, Polycat Finance got, way up there
Right.
for a bit, but I think it was like $300 to $400 a day that I
Yeah.
was able to make just off of staking my Polydoge, right?
Just it's sitting there just because you made it. Just because well, essentially it's like it's the whole like adage of like years of overnight or years of hard work to become an overnight success. You put in like all this grinding years prior that then finally lets you feel like you've made it overnight, but it's like all your hard work.
Yes, that's true. That's true because of all the time that I had spent, um, polishing my craft and marketing and working with large communities, doing hundreds and hundreds of nonprofit fundraisers, running different companies, like all those things. I mean, yeah, it led up to the point where
Right.
I could get an offer, right, from a team that was doing very well, right? And within a month and a half from that point, we hit 78 million market cap on Polydoge.
That's
And
amazing.
I'm telling you, when I saw the numbers of what my Polydoge was worth, I was
Right.
like, I was telling my fiance, I was like, we might be able to retire soon. Like, I don't know, we'll
Yep.
see. Like, I mean, this is crazy, right? This is absolutely crazy. But, I held on, I held on to the yeah, just about all of it because,
Yeah.
I learned quickly, right, that when you're running a community and you have this massive allocation, you got to be strategic about the way that you sell your position, right? And
You're leading by
and that was
example too, right?
yeah, exactly. And you don't want to hurt the chart, and you want to really keep the momentum going, and um and 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 we even made a pact, right? We made a pact with the whole team and said, hey, like, we're making a pact, and we're all going to work together to make sure that we protect the price, we protect the community, um, because there were guys that had, that a decent allocation too, and then some guys that had bought like a ton of
Right. People
Polydoge,
like I know
right?
like Bart Baker, for example, right? Like he
Yeah,
was
I mean,
wanting
Bart Baker, yeah, oh yeah, and it was really cool. I didn't really know who Bart Baker
right.
was, right? I mean, I knew him from his videos when he was like super famous on YouTube and everything like that. Um, but when I first got introduced to him, and then kind of started to understand who he was, the thing about Bart that I just love is he's so humble. He's so he he doesn't wear his fame on his sleeve or anything like that. I mean, the dude literally was more famous than Justin Bieber in China, you
I've
know?
heard that one. Yeah.
And and he's so down to earth. He's so down to earth, and and it was so cool to work with him because of all the major success that he has had, and um and then also learning from him about marketing, learning from him about how to tell a story, and how to capture an audience, right? And so that was just so cool.